Hello everyone, I'm coming to you with a kit reveal. We have a new First Order character, the First Order Executioner. And when I first saw this, I thought we were getting Traitor from episode 7. Traitor! The TR-8R trooper, which would have been really cool, even though it wouldn't have made sense because it's a year later. But this is the guy, spoiler alert, this is the trooper that goes to execute Finn and Rose. So the First Order is a faction that definitely needs some love. The Unmasked Kylo Ren has a promising leadership, but the team as a whole is still kind of lacking. So it's exciting to see a new character. So let's dig in and see how we feel about this. So this is a First Order attacker. And he looks interesting. He's very black and white. He kind of looks like a panda. As far as we can tell, there are no Zetas. That's what we've been told. So I'm pretty sure that there are no Zetas. His basic is Judgment, and he kind of does this shoving motion. So both of his abilities do physical damage, and his basic will give himself health up. I haven't been that impressed with health up and health down as buffs and debuffs. I haven't really seen that big of a difference when I've used them, but he does stack health in his kit, so maybe the health up will actually provide some benefit, and you'll likely be using him under the Unmasked Kylo Ren lead, so that buff will, if you have the leadership Zeta, then you will get the additional protection and health regeneration. So if the target is debuffed, then the hit is guaranteed to be a crit, and he will gain advantage. So this is really synergizing well with the Unmasked Kylo lead, because that lead gives them a lot of critical damage, and they get turn meter whenever they crit. So this is trying to get the ball rolling with him to keep critting over and over. Now his special, I love the animation. It's just a very enthusiastic whack. So he will deal damage to the target. He'll remove 50% turn meter, and he will dispel. So turn meter removal is very nice, especially with the meta is really heavily based around turn meter manipulation right now with Jedi Rey. So any turn meter manipulation is good. And it will also do a dispel, and that's nice because until now we had the First Order Stormtrooper, and then we got Unmasked Kylo Ren, so having an additional dispel is nice. So then this is another one. The problem I have with this, though, is we still kind of need another cleanse. We only have First Order Officer as a cleanse, so you might still have to use General Kenobi or something. I'm not sure. And then it says, if this is where it gets a little complicated. If it defeats an enemy, the Executioner gains 80% turn meter, and the cooldown is reset. And usually it has a 3-turn cooldown, so it's not a huge deal for the cooldown to be reset. Otherwise, so if he doesn't kill someone, then he'll get 40% turn meter, so he'll still get some, and he'll start stacking his max health. So he gets 20% max health stacking until he kills someone. So this could be really interesting on how you strategize if you want to kind of start picking away at tunes and stacking up his max health so he gets harder and harder and harder to kill. That could be very annoying to have this attacker that can do damage that is getting harder to kill. That sounds very annoying, and you'll probably want to pick him off early when you're fighting. So having the dual tank of Unmasked Kylo Ren and First Order Stormtrooper to protect him, and maybe even Kenobi in there, just protect this guy and maybe one of the other pilots while they try and do a ton of damage. But so you can get them all and start stacking his health and get them all really low, and then once you start killing them, then the cooldown is reset, so you can do this over and over, and he'll get a huge amount of turn meter. It's almost like a Maul, where when he kills someone, he gets 100% turn meter, so he can kind of, if you have a bunch of low health tunes, you can pick them off with him. This kind of feels like that to me, so if you have a lot of low health tunes, you can pick them off. So this is going to struggle against teams that have a lot of healing, because then you can't get everyone to low health. But the teams that don't, this could be quite useful. And he does have a unique. When he scores a critical hit, he gains even more stacking max health. So this is what I was saying, maybe the health up will make a more significant difference with him than I usually see, because he's gaining all this stacking max health. So every time he crits, which he'll be critting a lot because he'll have advantage a lot, he will gain the max health. And then all First Order allies will gain turn meter. So this kit has a good amount of turn meter manipulation in it. His special removes turn meter. He can gain turn meter. All First Order allies can gain turn meter. And then he also has bonus offense equal to 5% of his max health. So as his health is stacking and stacking, so is his offense. And that is really irritating. And I feel like if any part of this kit were to be a Zeta, we've been told there weren't. So it's probably an Omega. But if there were to be a Zeta, that last part might be it. Because then he's getting harder and harder to kill, and he's hitting harder and harder. So this has maybe like a Ventress feel, just stacking that offense as you go. So if you're fighting this, probably want to take him out first. So in thinking about if this gives the First Order what they need to be in Arena, I think if you really love First Order, you can maybe try it, but it's not complete yet. It's kind of like the Resistance, where it's not complete. You maybe need to, you have the 3 core, and you have to supplement the other 2. With this, you have to have Kylo Ren as the lead, and First Order Stormtrooper is just excellent. First Order TIE Fighter Pilot is excellent. You might need First Order Officer in there just to have a cleanse, maybe, or you could throw Kenobi in there, maybe Thrawn. And then add this new Executioner in. But I feel like you kind of have to do a hybrid team because the pure First Order teams just aren't enough. And when I was trying to make them work, the lack of a cleanse was a big problem, and First Order officers just isn't enough. So that's why I'm still hesitant that this will be enough, but maybe they can come out guns blazing. They do get a speed boost from Kylo Ren's leadership, but if they can come out guns blazing in Arena, maybe they could kill it. That makes me nervous to be so vulnerable to debuffs. But we shall see. As far as raids go, I don't know that this will make that big of a difference. I mean, it's nice to have him stacking, so I think he'll be fun to use. I don't think he'll be like a game changer for raids, but he'll keep stacking his offense and his health, so he'll definitely be fun to use and useful in raids. He's not going to be, huge like Thrawn or Luke or Rey. Obviously, he's not that big of a character, but anyone that has those stacking stats, raids go on for a very long time. So this is probably going to be a lot of fun in raids. The other part that I hesitate to say how good this team is going to be is Kylo Ren Unmasked is still unfarmable outside of shipments. Anyone who has Rey or Luke has them at 7 stars. So it's not like you need a really strong character to be 7 stars to use them in Arena, but if you want to be efficient, if you're going to gear a toon really, really high, you want to be able to use them in lots of areas of the game. So if you're putting a toon in your Arena team and you want to gear them very high, you want to be able to use them in other parts of the game. You won't be able to fully enjoy your First Order team unless you break through that paywall and 7-star Unmasked Kylo Ren. Now, once he becomes farmable, he becomes free-to-play, as he surely will. All toons eventually you are able to get as free-to-play. Once that happens, I think this will be a really fun team to play with. It'll probably be very annoying in territory wars, and it'll be very good in territory battles. Kylo Ren's leadership is good for territory battles. Now, looking at the notes at the bottom of the post, it seems like the intention with this character is the damage output of a good attacker. There basically until now was First Order TIE Pilot and the original Kylo Ren, and that was kind of all you had as in terms of damage. But now they're trying to supplement that by adding in this really strong attacker, and it also looks like they're adding in the turn meter manipulation because that's just so valuable in this game. It's hard to design a faction, especially in the direction that they're going with the leadership, to have any value without that turn meter manipulation. But again, there's nothing in here about kind of managing the battle in terms of debuffing, cleansing. They're adding in another Dispeller, which is nice, but the lack of cleanse just really makes me... So, I mean, I feel like you'd have to have someone like Kenobi or something on this team to cleanse your team, or else you're going to have a really bad time, and your Kylo Ren Unmasked is just going to stand there stunned the whole battle. That's what happened to me when I tried to use him. He just stood there stunned. Let me know what you all think. If you think that this is the piece that the First Order was missing, I'm excited about it. I think he'll be a lot of fun. I'm still still a little weary about them being in Arena. I really hope they are. To have Unmasked Kylo Ren and Rey as the two leads in Arena that are covering the meta, that would be very, very exciting. So we'll see what happens, and maybe there's some hybrid teams that we'll see pop up that really work well. And let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you all on the next video.